Well, welcome viewers to the channel. I'm Dr. JWAU, theologist since 1994. The letter they didn't want sent. When you realise the family needed somebody to carry the contamination. And viewers and listeners, the frightening part was not the hostility. It was how emotionally unified the family became once the contamination had somewhere to go again. That was the pattern you could no longer stop noticing. The atmosphere repeatedly stabilised once blame settled onto the same person. Tension reduced, warmth returned, normal conversation resumed. The family system relaxed the moment emotional contamination found its assigned location inside the structure again. And at first, you still interpreted it as coincidence, stress, personality conflict, emotional misunderstanding accumulating over years. But eventually, another recognition started forming underneath everything else. The family may never have been trying to resolve the dysfunction. It may have been trying to contain it. And that changes the meaning of inclusion completely, because eventually you realise the scapegoat was never fully excluded from the family system. The system needed them emotionally present, needed them carrying the instability, needed them absorbing the contradiction everybody else could not safely acknowledge inside themselves without threatening the emotional architecture holding the family together. And that is what starts exhausting the nervous system catastrophically. Not simple rejection, psychological assignment, and the terrifying experience of remaining physically included while becoming behaviourally designated as the emotional carrier for tension. The family refuses confronting collectively. Dinner still happens, people still smile, photos still get taken. But underneath the atmosphere, something else keeps happening repeatedly. The same person absorbs the discomfort. The same person becomes the explanation. The same person quietly carries the emotional infection, protecting everybody else from having to confront what might actually be wrong inside the system itself. And slowly another layer of betrayal starts becoming visible. No, not everybody fully believes the narrative. Some simply cooperate with it. And that's what makes the atmosphere feel psychologically crowded. The side glances, the strategic silence, the sudden warmth after self-retraction, the emotional distancing whenever clarity strengthens again, the ceiling fan suddenly sounding louder than the conversation. Someone watches quietly while blame shifts direction again. Someone avoids eye contact the moment contradiction briefly surfaces. Someone becomes emotionally softer once the pressure settles back onto the familiar person carrying it. And eventually the person begins realizing something devastating. The family system may not actually bond through love. It may bond through collective emotional protection against destabilisation, even if that protection requires internal betrayal, even if it requires herd pressure, even if it requires emotional shunning disguised as concern, humour, advice, spirituality, loyalty, or peacekeeping. And that's why the letter eventually stops feeling emotional. It starts feeling historical, a behavioural record preserving continuity before the atmosphere absorbs the contradiction back underneath collective emotional normality again. And by the time the letter is finally written, the person is no longer trying to defend themselves. They're trying to survive psychologically inside a family structure that required one person carrying the contamination so everybody else could continue functioning as though the contamination never belonged to the system itself. I'm Dr. JWAU, theologist since 1994. Thank you for joining me, and bye for now.